Good morning. Good morning. Saturday, June 28th. A rainy Saturday here in southern Maine. Welcome to what I call hashtag live 365, where I'm live every single day. Day 184 today in a row. A couple of them were ugly, but we got it done. Um, Appreciate you guys being here, the ones that show up every week, every day, I should say. And yeah, we talk business, we talk life stuff, whatever we're in the middle of. I do some 10-day series on some things. And, right now we're talking about resilience. We finished up talking about company culture and that kind of stuff. A few days ago, Tags Building and Remodeling, along with Dave Howard, are here. The Steady Eddies. Good to see you guys. Hey, Dave, just publicly want to thank you for the number of people you invited to the Summit Facebook group. We hit over 2,000 yesterday, finally. It took 4 or 5 other people finally jumping in and inviting friends. And I just went right at them. I'm like, come on, help a brother out. So we got it. We made it. So anyway, good to see you guys. Happy Saturday. You getting out for a run today, Dave? It's a nice day for it. Jason Rector is here. Good to see you. Saw your sister on here yesterday. Maybe you were here too. I can't remember, but she said she was going to text you, get you on. Yeah, coming in at a 9. Great team to be part of. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I think we've done some good things and put out some positivity into a platform here on Facebook and wherever else where there's a lot of negative and a lot of things that you can look at that aren't great. So yeah, and just want to give a shout out to Alex Redmond this morning. I don't know if he's on or not, but he and Bill lost a longtime partner and mentor in their buddy Bob yesterday or today. I'm not sure when, but I saw his post this morning. So I had a chance to meet Bob several months ago, and he was struggling with cancer, and he's a big part of what was going on down there at College Town Siding, North Star Bailey. So Bob was an old school dude, and Alex will tell you he'll tell you that a lot of what he learned about life and business he learned from Bob. So I told him this morning that probably the best way to honor him was to let his legacy live on through him. So and then I also noticed this morning a guy named Shannon Sweeney that was struggling with ALS, part of the contractor fight community, has passed away. And they just announced that. I just saw that this morning. And then the last kick in the nuts was that Jimmy is back in the hospital. So, yeah, we're taking things come in threes, I guess. So my buddy Jimmy's back in and struggling with just getting some breathing, being able to breathe well. So they're going to do some testing today on him. And hopefully the cycle has been that he comes home and then declines and goes back in, gets better, comes home, declines, goes back in. So we're just going through it with him. And but in the meantime, I've gotten to spend a lot of good time with him. And we got back on the couch out in the garage and hung out. And he knows how I feel about him. And I tell him all the time. So I would say to you guys, yeah, Shannon. They just announced that this morning, Pat. Yeah, so I would say if you got somebody in your life that doesn't know how you feel about them, you better damn well make sure they do. So good morning, Dan Bennett. Yeah, good to see you. Bubba, good morning. Pat Johnson, good morning. Dustin Hippensteel checking in from Pensacola, Florida, in Central Time Zone. Good to see you. And Roy Dahl checking in with a 9. And the wallpaper, that's what I'm going to call you, Dave. The wallpaper. Dave Howard is here and always here. Yeah, good to see you. Tags Building Supply, Tags Building and Remodeling is on Instagram hanging out with us. So he said this week turned out great, was super busy, but very worth it. Yeah, don't forget it. Yeah. We need to start some sort of initiative to drag you guys to Eastern Time Zone. You'll feel better, You'll feel better when you're with people that are normal, Yeah. Jason says days like these put our problems in perspective. Yeah, so-called problems, right? And if you guys know Lisa Willard, another member of the contractor fight community and the contracting community anyway, saw her post yesterday and what she's been dealing with. So it does make you realize that, hey, we're on the right side of the grass. And as much as something might suck or it's hard to go through something or whatever, nothing's guaranteed, guys. So don't waste a day. Just don't waste a day, really. And if you get down or you're struggling, reach out to somebody. Okay. That's part of what this community is about as well. So like I always say, if there are people on here that you see commenting and they're here all the time, make sure that you can connect with them on Facebook. I love making sure. I love when I see people comment. I'm like, how did Jason Rector get to be friends with Dustin Hippensteel, whatever? I'm like, oh yeah, well, we all hang out together. So it's just good stuff. It's good stuff. And it's all part of being what I always say, being in the right room. So check on your people. Who needs to hear from you? And as I always say, the best way to help yourself is to help someone else. So anyway, on a lighter note, I woke up early this morning and I don't know, you ever just start looking at reels? Oh shit, man. I was cracking up on the couch by myself at 5:30 this morning. Well, I get into those ones where the guys in the barbershop, and they're laid back and they're washing their hair and they just spray a little water in there like that. And then they just start drowning them with the sprayer. I'll go through a bunch of those. Then I get into a bunch of falls, slip and falls, and those crack me up. And then people singing and dancing, and there's some talented people out there. If you get into a good, and that's not even TikTok, that was just Instagram. So, kept in the right place, that stuff can be pretty fun. But I'm like, oh man, I've burned an hour just doing this. I had tears coming down my face on some of that stuff. Luke McGee, good to see you. How are you, buddy? Oh, yeah. So Wendy's going with some girlfriends today to hang out. And I, of course, am going to work on world domination. Shocker, huh? So, yeah, we'll move the needle some way. But before that, I want to talk about reframing the story. Today, we're going to talk about going from setback to set up. Okay. We've been talking about resiliency and being more resilient this past week, and adversity. And adversity only breaks you if you let it define you. Okay. You guys, everybody on here has been through some stuff, right? Been in the shit. Resilient people don't just recover from challenges, they reinterpret them. So today is about reframing the story to tell yourself when things go wrong, the story that you tell yourself. Good morning, Patty Doll. Yeah, back in the saddle. Good to see you. You might be our first couple that's on here regularly. I don't know. Anybody else? Good to see you. Roy's here too. So, the story you tell yourself equals the life that you live. You're always assigning meaning to what happens. Okay, the story you attach to your adversity will either weaken or elevate you. Think about that for a minute. Like, for example, I failed. Shame, hesitation, isolation. How about this one? That experience trained me. Confidence, clarity, and power. There's a difference. What do we take from it? Just happening. You've heard me say, and many others, is this happening to me or for me? I don't have to. I get to. Right? And reframing doesn't mean denial. That's right. Wendy says, you and I are a couple on here. What you talking about? Whoops. Stepped in it there, didn't I, guys? Reframing doesn't mean denial. It's not about toxic positivity or pretending everything's great. We're doing great. Yep, busy, soldiering on. It's about asking a better question. How could this be happening for me, not to me? Pain becomes purpose when you choose to use it. What can you take from it? Put that shit to work. Make it matter. Make it of value. If you're going to go through something, let's get something out of it, right? Otherwise, it's just waste. You could go from a victim to a leader by taking ownership of the narrative. When you take ownership of your story, you take back power. Go from helpless to resourceful, bitter to better, stuck to strategic. You can't change the past, guys, but you can change what it means to be you and what it means to you. All right? Roy, Wendy Lee, he's a little slow. Yes, I would agree. I've only had 3 coffees, Roy. Give me a break. I always say, here's the truth. Here's the truth. Everybody goes through hard things, guys, but only the resilient grow through them. Everyone goes through hard things. Only the resilient grow through them. Setbacks don't block your path. They often become the path. All right. Many times, if you ask somebody, hey, if you look back and, of course, assume where you are today, if you look back, what would you change? Many people will say, I wouldn't change a thing. I didn't like going through it, but I wouldn't change a thing. Yeah, because that's how they became who they are. And you guys have heard me tell stories about, closing businesses and opening business and doing hard things and relationship stuff and, whatever, whether it was Bailey moving off to Texas and, just having to adjust to that. But I reframed that and say, man, I'm so happy she's out there where there's so much more opportunity. And every time I see, pictures of new friends and new places and places they go and things they do, I'm like, she's right where she needs to be. And I can get on a plane anytime. And a few hundred bucks in a few hours, I can be there. So let's talk about rewriting the story, rewriting one story. Think of one challenge, a mistake, or like a painful moment you've been carrying. Think about that for a minute. A challenge, a painful moment, a mistake maybe that you made that you've been kind of carrying around. And ask yourself these 3 questions. What did it teach me? What strength did I gain? How can I put it to work? How can I use it moving forward? So what did it teach me? What did I learn? Where did I get stronger? How can I use it going forward? Write the new version of the story, guys. Not just for healing, but for momentum. Hey, it taught me this. I get stronger in this area. This is how I'm putting it to work. This is how I'm making it pay. You ever been on a sports team and take a tough loss? You make it pay. What you learn from it. Put it to work by getting stronger, more mentally tough. I remember I won very few things when I raced, just because I was probably like the slowest of the fast guys. So I was kind of in the back of that front third most of the time, which was very good. But I never wanted to. When I got in a couple of times when we got in a position to win, I didn't want to potentially lose by 2 seconds. And sometimes it's time trial. And I remember my friend Jared and Rick, my friend Rick and Jared. We were racing up what they call the Kangamangas Highway in New Hampshire. It's a 21-mile hill climb, and you do it as a 3-person time trial. I had run a marathon 7 days before, so I showed up and said, hey, I don't know what I'm going to have for legs, guys, but this is either going to go really well or really badly. So we got going. Jared took off, and we pulled him back, and we got going in a line. I stayed in the back. And about halfway through, I pulled out, and I looked at him, and I said, guess what, boys? I feel pretty good. So I went off the front, and we started hammering up that hill, and we got to about 300 yards from the finish. And I looked over at Jared, and he was dying. I was screaming at him right beside him on my bike. I said, LFG, I don't want to lose this by 2 seconds. Let's go. Right. And then pulled up and screamed the same thing at Rick. And your time is that of the slowest rider. So we all went across the line together. And you have to drive back down the hill and go to the local high school and figure out who won. And all the guys there looking at us because they didn't know who we were. We had first time in the race. And there were some really good teams there. We won by 2.5 minutes. We won by 2.5 minutes. And I was willing to go that deep on the hill to make sure we didn't lose by 2 seconds. Okay? Because I had lost by 2 seconds before. And I didn't like that feeling. like I said, that wasn't, and I wasn't used to winning. I was used to being in the mix. But when you get a sniff of it, remember how that feels and try to recreate that. Okay, and create your own momentum and write your own story. Right? Hey, somebody's got to win a race today, right? Why can't it be me? So, guys, if this landed with you at all today, pop a fist pump in the chat for me. Wendy said, I don't think I'm going to get the links in today because she's getting ready to go. I said, don't worry about it. I'll get them after. And here she is putting the links in. She's like, oh, hell no. You're not doing my job. I said, I'll get the posts out. I'll do that. You can go. And I'm sure she's up there doing that right now too. So check out Bailey's Instagram page. Check out Tyler Kirk's Legacy Media page. We'd love to have you join us in Houston for the 2-day takeoff event. Steve Rosenberg's group. I got the t-shirt on today. Come down. We'll get you a t-shirt. Those that have been there have left a different person. Speaking of that, Dan Bennett just popped a fist pump in there. Dan was there this past month. And it's a great event. Yeah. Bill. Yeah. Hello from Croatia. Yeah. I hope you're enjoying your trip, my friend. The other thing was the 2-day sales, daily sales accelerator. Sorry about that. I got knocked off my cadence there a little bit. 2-day sales, daily sales accelerator. The DSA, we do it every day, Monday through Friday. Monday is about mindset. Tuesday, we handle objections. We talk about that. Wednesday is all about revenue. Thursday, we do sales role plays. And Friday is Free Brain Friday, where we handle whatever you got going on. So, yeah, you bet, Christy. Hope things are going well. Good to hear from you. Thanks for popping on. But yeah, just to kind of wrap up how I started today, just check in on those that are around you. Make sure that if there's someone that needs to hear from you, that they do. It's a short trip we're on, guys. I always say I'm not going to be looking for any change back when I'm done. So what are the things that you need to do to move the needle for yourself, for your family, for your business, whatever? Wendy's not going to lose by 2 seconds. She's up there putting in the links. Yeah. She's one of those people that she hits those keys and she just typing like that, right? I don't know how many hundreds of words a minute or whatever, but she hits that backspace button a lot. I'm like, why don't you just slow down a little bit, not miss so many letters? That usually goes over pretty well. So yeah, check out the links, guys. If you're struggling with your social media, check out Bailey's Instagram page. She's doing some great things. I look at her stuff and I'm like, I wonder how she did that. She must have some tricks up her sleeve that I don't, and that's for sure she does. So kids are great. If you want to figure something out, give it to somebody half your age. So anyway, I hope you have a great day today, guys. It's going to be raining here, so I'm going to hole up and work on world domination and get some things done. I appreciate you being on here. Yeah, check out The Edge too. Our website will be popped on there. She said it's the laptop. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is yeah. You type. I don't know how many words a minute you typed when you were in the corporate world, but it had to be a lot. So going right at it with one of those flat MacBook Pro keyboard things. So anyway, guys, I'm going to check out. Keep people in your thoughts and your prayers, and ask yourself who needs to hear from you. I appreciate you guys supporting what I'm doing here. Good morning, Peter Christensen. Thank you all for inviting people to the Summit Facebook group. I won't start screaming about 3,000 members until we get to 2,500, but the request remains. Invite. There are way more people here that we can help by creating a positive environment and a place to go on Facebook that doesn't have anything to do with politics or things happening overseas or, people flexing or what somebody had for lunch. So yeah, the keys stick, that's for sure. So Dan, good to see you, buddy. I will talk to you guys later. I'll see you tomorrow, 8 a.m. All right. Same time, same station, Studio B, hashtag share Bob's shit. All right, see you guys. Appreciate you all. Take care.